What's a good word, y'all? DKB here. So we are continuing our 2023 New York Jets UDFA, aka Undrafted Free Agent signing scouting breakdown. That's quite a lot to say. So we have a linebacker for you today, Claudin Cherelus out of Alcorn State. Love the name. It's giving me like Final Fantasy throwbacks. But to be honest, it was very hard to try to find much of anything about this guy. And I shouldn't be surprised. Alcorn State being one of the HBCUs, a lot of those guys don't tend to get a lot of coverage. And so, you think about 2021 being that highlight year in the NFL draft where we didn't have a single player from an HBCU get drafted. Fast forward the last 2 years, it's been a lot better. The Detroit Lions probably getting one of the best HBCU players in recent memory, and we're hoping some of these undrafted free agents and guys that'll continue to come out will keep the trend going. But what do we know about him? 6'1", 226 pounds, had a pretty strong pro day as far as the HBCU candidates went compared to the rest of the Indianapolis invites, and 24 years old, continuing that trend of age not being anything but a number to Joe Douglas for this particular draft. Basketball background, played power forward in high school. Originally ended up attending University of Mass before he ended up spending his final 2 years at Alcorn State. And we've seen him, or not seen him, but he did get some offers to actually go to the Canadian Football League, and he ended up choosing to pursue the NFL route, believing in his skills, his skill set, and the abilities he was going to bring to try to get onto an NFL gridiron. So strongly respect the mental fortitude that he has there. And I'm hoping that we really kind of have a hidden gem here. But to be honest, it's not a whole lot to go off of. I still wanted to actually check down some of the highlights that I've seen. Maybe there's going to be some diamonds there that we can take from it. But for what I have for you guys right now, this does kind of fit the Robert Saleh mold. Undersized, speedy. He was a former safety as well, and he was listed as one of the top HBCU prospects. Now, whether that means he was going to be a round one pick or not, that's not necessarily what that was saying. These were just the best prospects available at the HBCU rank that would have been able to make an NFL team. So glad to see him there. 2022 stats, he had to miss a couple of games, but played in 9, 73 tackles, 14.5 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, an interception, 3 pass deflections, and he was able to force 2 fumbles. So he's panned out pretty well for himself. Was able to fill the stat sheet across the board. Was a core special team player. Brings a lot of speed and versatility again with him playing safety, him having that power forward background, which doesn't translate, I think, as much as people would think on the defensive side, but the aggressive instincts and positioning and different things like that will occur will be somewhat of what we can take away with him playing linebacker. Coverage is going to be an opportunity across the board for pretty much anybody. And that's really all we have on the books for this guy, Claudin Cherelus. I do think, though, from what I did see, speed definitely stands out. He's a guy, and we mentioned this with the 6th round pick linebacker that we had. The name's escaping me right now, but we mentioned this with our linebacker that we actually drafted in the 6th round. The speed matches what you see at the pro day, in this case, instead of the combine. And the versatility is something I'm excited to see. He could be one of those guys that we end up switching back and forth between a safety and a linebacker role. Maybe we bring him up in an emergency setting. I've seen some comments that mention that his playing style, and with him being an outside linebacker, it's similar enough to a Quincy Williams to give you guys kind of an idea of maybe who we have comparable on the roster to him. But couldn't tell you guys a whole lot about what we can expect out of him. Is this a hidden gem or not? Is to be decided. But I think with us having 3 linebackers as undrafted free agents, us prioritizing one in the draft, all the guys that we already still have in a room between CJ, potentially bringing Quan back, Quincy, Hamza Najmuddin, Jamie and Sherwood. Obviously, this was an area of focus, and this was one of the better prospects, again, that we could have got At this point, with the draft being over and him being one of the first signings that I heard that we actually went out and called, even though he didn't get a huge big money deal like people expected. So from some of the interviews I've seen, he loves the scheme fit. Obviously, our scheme loves him, and so we'll see if we can make maybe some kind of long-term marriage happen. But let me know what your thoughts are on Claudin Cherelus here, and I'll catch you guys again. Peace.